First things first, rest in peace to Uncle Phil. For real. You the only father that I ever knew, so if I get my girl pregnant, I'm gonna be a better you. Though for me, this may not be true, this is just one of the many harsh realities our young black boys have to face in our society. Having to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to observe what a strong black man represents because they do not have one in their lives. And a large part of that is because countless numbers of African-American fathers are locked away in prison. In 1963, our brother, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., gave his I Have a Dream speech and envisioned equality. Equality in schools, equality in the workplace, and equality in the criminal justice system. And 53 years later, brothers, I'm standing out here to tell you that that dream of equality has not yet been reached. Not in the classroom, not when applying for jobs, and damn sure not in the courtroom. I'm black and I'm proud, but at the end of the day, I'm still black. And that means I'm subject to being viewed as violent or criminal or thug. Now, these racial disparities have led to zero-tolerance policing and an increase in police brutality cases. Oscar Grant, Don Trey Hamilton, Tamir Rice, Alicia Anderson, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, and many, many, many more, all killed by an officer's hand. And shoot, almost forgot, we still asking what happened to Sandra Bland. But the case that brought my attention to all this was the case of Trayvon Martin. I read a quote once on what transpired in the night of his death, and here's how it went. I bare my soul screaming, help me, while carrying an iced tea and a bag of candy, but you still see the evil within me. I walk away from you hurriedly to try and find safety, but you chase after me. I leave, you run closer. I leave, you confront me. I leave. You kill me. Data clearly shows blacks in stop at a disproportionate rate, and with these racial disparities in our, let me say that again, our criminal justice system, it is impossible for us not to feel targeted by our government. Let's play some numbers. In 2010, black men were 6 times as likely as all white men to be incarcerated, and today stand a 1 in 4 chance of ending up in prison, which, by the way, has not been proven as a rehabilitation for behavior, as 2/3 of prison abuse and drill will reoffend. So as you can see, this is nothing but a never-ending cycle contributing to keeping our race down. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Yeah, right. Like I said earlier, Dr. King would still be dreaming. You see, being black in America is like being in a desert and crawling towards a bottle of water that everyone else has, but that we can never attain. Being black in America is knowing that a shadow of doubt that you will die without ever being able to even taste a drop of that water. That thirst-quenching drop of white privilege. Imagine being a black man incarcerated because of one simple mistake that you made. Your girlfriend or wife comes to visit you and drops you and she's pregnant because you didn't wrap it up. You probably should have took her to their national program, Project Alpha, but we'll get to those later. So now you start to realize that your son is going to be out there growing up, facing the problems of inner city youth without a positive male role model and like to look up to. So that once smart, respectful young man begins to run with the wrong crowd, joining a gang, and becoming your typical old dog. Basically another menace to society. So now we have yet another young black male being sent to a juvenile correction facility and becoming yet another statistic. Perhaps Donald Trump and his ignorant, bigoted views should wear the shoes of a black man in the courtroom, let alone the shoes of a black man in jail cell for a day. Nelson Mandela once spoke on this issue and said, no one truly knows a nation until they've been inside of its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but how it treats its lowest ones. And I completely agree. How can you know what's best for something or someone if you've never been there to experience or witness their realities? We need to account for inmates more about how can we when they're denied their voting rights upon release from jail. So even if they want to use their vote as a vehicle to voice their opinion on this criminal justice system, they cannot. Dig a little deeper and try to realize who constitutes most of these prison systems. You will realize that this issue of institutionalized racism is everything it's typed up to be. Brother Andrew Young marched with Dr. King from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. One of the main issues they were marching for were voting rights and the elimination of barriers that kept blacks from voting. It's sad to say that for some African Americans today, their main issue is not being able to vote or release from jail. Don't get me wrong, if they never would have committed that felony, they would not be in this predicament at all. So I'm not sitting up here trying to make an excuse for blacks. However, philosopher, activist, and public intellectual Dr. Cornel West, our brother Dr. Cornel West, addresses this by stating, we indeed must criticize and condemn the moral acts of black people, and we must do so cognizant of the circumstances into which people are born and under which they live. By overlooking these circumstances, new black conservatives fall into the trap of blaming black poor people for their predicament. So how can we address this problem? Think about it. I was recently watching one of the presidential debates, and these disparities in our criminal justice system, better yet this new Jim Crow system, are not some of the top trending issues. For us to actually get a change, we must get a change in these laws. The only way we're going to get a change in these laws is if we make this issue so monumental that they cannot do anything except listen to what we have to say to implement our new plans. Again, Brother Andrew Young truly embodied the hopeless people as a hopeless people by organizing countless voter registration drives. And these drives proved to be imperative to his success because they eventually led to him earning a seat in the House of Representatives, as well as the election of thousands of African American candidates in the higher office. I do not know if anyone in this room supports Donald Trump, but if you do, please forgive me for attacking him. Also, please be sure to see me after this so we can share a quick word of prayer. Now I'm just playing. Well, all good jokes can change truth. Same rope you climb upon, he'll hang you with. History repeats itself, and that's just how it goes. These have been the wise words spoken about my man J. Cole. But back to the issue at hand. Trump is currently the leading Republican vote getter, and I truly fear what this nation will become if he is leading for the next 4 years. We must find a way to galvanize our youth to vote by making politics cool. It's rare that you find an 18-year-old in high school that exercises his or her right to vote, and in this election, every vote will certainly count. So let us focus on who our beloved history will be dedicated to. The youth who march onward and upward. When speaking on the early days of the fraternity, Jewel Henry Arthur Callis stated that society offered us narrowly circumscribed opportunity and no security. Out of our need, our fraternity brought social purpose and social action. So let us all continue to provide this social purpose and social action at a time which we desperately need. At the 1970 Anniversary Convention, General President Ernest M. Morial claimed that the final test will not be what we say here, but what advances in thought, what changes of attitude, ultimately what action, and may I underscore this, ultimately what action results from our discussions. There's a song in our history book called Some of the Souls I Truly Admire, and here's how it goes. Schooled in prejudice, but imbued with dauntless souls, unchained from all traditions of some of them goals. United now are we against all who segregate. America's continuum, we will eradicate. From battlefields of freedom to the drawing of a day of equality and unity for all in work and play. Abiding peace we seek and strive through freedoms for justice, social justice. Amen. Forevermore. Thank you.